This is the Variety Show, 2024. I noticed that there was a East Coast earthquake in the New England states, and it was felt all the way from Boston to Maine, all the way in the East Coast. And it was registered at a 3.8 earthquake. So it was a moderate, almost a 4, but a 3.8 can be strong if it was, um, depending on how deep it was. So this was a strong 3.8. It sounded like it was a stronger one. It rattled people. It surprised people. I mean, they get them in that area, and I think it was felt as far as New York City probably felt it as well. So it was a good size quake in the New England states. But I was thinking um, that for California, you look at those fires in Los Angeles, and one thing is, the big one coming to the San Andreas fault line in Los Angeles, that could be the next thing sometime in 2025. They could get that long awaited a 9 or maybe even a 10.0 earthquake. A massive, massive earthquake could be the next event that will come to Los Angeles. And if that happens, they will never recover. They may recover from these fires if there's no more disasters on the West Coast, but if they get the long-awaited big one, like let's say it's a 10, they'll never recover from that. They will be under the ocean at that point, and Arizona will be and Vegas will be oceanfront property because a large swath of Southern California would literally be under the ocean. They will fall in the ocean if they get that. That could be the next thing that comes to California. They're talking about recovering. Los Angeles is talking about getting Olympics in 2028. None of that may happen if they get destroyed. Also, keep in mind, all the scientists and experts say that Los Angeles is overdue for the big one quake. That's another thing. And also, the fault lines are all connected. The San Andreas, and there's other fault lines besides the San Andreas. They're all interconnected. These different fault lines. And also, I was thinking, maybe even the severity of these wildfires that are hitting Southern California are aggravating those sensitive fault lines. So maybe even, I don't know that they're even mentioning this, but what if the wildfires, the severity of the biggest wildfire in the history of the United States, really, I don't think there's ever been anything like this. What if the Los Angeles wildfires are aggravating those fault lines? What if they're affecting those fault lines also? Because they might actually be affecting the fault lines and other things that may be aggravating those sensitive fault lines. That could blow up everything. They're overdue for this thing. They're overdue for the big one. That could be the next thing that comes. They'll never recover from a 10 earthquake in Los Angeles. And they talk about the California exodus. Yeah, I'd be getting out of there. Just like Mark Wahlberg and other high profile celebrities and actors, even movie stars, even Joe Rogan, even Ben Shapiro, other high profile people going back to the pandemic that have left that state because of the politics, because of the homelessness, because of crime, because of all the problems that have destroyed paradise, as so many people have left California. They even call it a biblical name, the California Exodus. Even movie stars leaving the state. It's just unbelievable. I don't think there's any future for California except to be underwater at this point. I don't see any recovery. That is used to be a paradise. It is now cursed. There's some kind of a curse on most of California, from LA to San Francisco. Certainly LA and San Francisco. Most of the state, I think, is cursed at this point. I think they're having problems with their water. Problems with their water. So many problems in what used to be a paradise, no longer a paradise. And I'm not going to put it in biblical context, but the Bible does say in Matthew 24 that there'll be earthquakes in diverse places, and they'll get bigger and bigger, bigger and bigger, and they'll intensify. So you'll see more and more earthquakes in diverse places, which means many places, and they will get stronger and stronger. So I'm not, going to say, oh, this is a sign and that's a sign, like Christians say, this is a sign, that's a sign, volcanoes and earthquakes and this and that, and floods. But but I could say that. I could say, oh, New England had an earthquake. It's a sign. Oh, it's a sign. It's a biblical sign because the Bible says earthquakes in diverse places. Oh, look what happened in New England. Oh, California might be next. Oh, look at the wildfire in California. That's a sign. It's a sign. The Bible says so. The Bible says so. They get bigger and bigger. Birth pangs, biblical birth pangs, get bigger and bigger because that's what it says about the end times in the Bible. I'm not going to go wild, but I could take that road and say these are all signs and there's something global going on. I mean, I could, say that, but I'm not going to say that. Oh, actually, I already said it. This is the Variety Show, 2024.